welcome back to another new edition of Windows on Current Affairs. And today, of course, like everywhere in Egypt, in the Egyptian media, we're going to be talking about the preparations for the upcoming COP27 in a few days, only like 2 or 3 days awaiting the biggest event of the year worldwide, and the continuation of Glasgow's efforts to stand up to the climate change challenges. And of course, we're going to hit on too many important topics, so you make sure that you join us, and we're very delighted to be gifted here in the studio live with us, one of the the smartest experts and the most updated expert when it comes to climate change and environmental challenges, Dr. Jilan Abdul, and she is a professor of Mass Comm and a dean of Mass Comm, faculty of Mass Comm at one of the prominent universities here in Egypt. Good evening, Dr. Abdul. How are you doing?
Good evening, Dina, and nice to be with you in this lovely program, and also greetings to your audience, and hope that we will give them information about COP27 and how we are going to integrate this great event in Egypt.
Hopefully, inshallah. And of course, everybody's excited because the Egyptian administration have been for almost 12 months or almost 3 years now, headed by President Abdul Fattah al-Sisi, have been educating us Egyptian citizens by the challenges posed by the climate change and the importance of preserving the environment and taking heed to the dangers that threat the ecosystem and the biological balance in the world and hierarchy of the species and everything.
Yes.
So we as Egyptian citizens were very well aware, and we are excited to start up following up this very important conference and keep a follow-up throughout the 2 weeks or more, which is the continuation of the span of the conference, to find ways and seek ways to stand up to the climate change. So how do you expect, first of all, this conference to be taking?
Let me first say that we should be, as an Egyptian, be proud that we are going to host this great event, which is the COP27, as the inauguration will be within 2 days, hours, and we are going to have this great inauguration at Sharm el-Sheikh, the Green City, which will be the model for Green City. This is one of the greatest preparation for the COP27. But if you give me 2 minutes to make a refreshment about the COP27. This started since 1992 at Janeiro in Brazil, when they started to face the climate change, that we are going to face this crisis. So since 1992, we are talking about this very important issue. And 197 countries signed an agreement regarding climate change, and it was executed in 1994. There are also 2 important agreements took place in 1997, which is called Quito Protocol, and also Paris Agreement, which is 2015, which was the COP21. At that time, they called COP21, as we all the COP of, which is the Conference of Partners. The partners are the 197 countries that signed the agreement. It ended at Glasgow, UK, COP26, and then we took the flag that we are going to inaugurate it here in Egypt at Sharm el-Sheikh. That means COP27 will be completion to COP26. In spite that at COP26, there's a commitment to the countries that signed the agreement that they should present a new national strategy or renewable national strategy for climate change, but unfortunately only 23 countries submitted it. COP27 is very important. It's at critical time, as all of us knew, that it's after a pandemic, which is the COVID-19, and also within the the crisis between Ukraine and Russia. So we are at a critical time within the depression, economic depression that we are all know about, that we are facing in it. So COP27 is we are going to move from debates, discussions, plans to execution. So it is execution. That's why the slogan of COP27 is together. We are together.
Dr. Mahmoud Mohiuddin, the UN climate change high-level champion for Egypt,
yes,
our country, and also a former minister, he stressed that the climate action cannot be reduced to just the decarbonization and carbon emission, and it must be also dealing with the framework of sustainable development goals to be able to empower economies and societies, because when it comes to the climate change challenges, it's not only the carbon emission. It is, like I earlier said, it's a complete ecosystem and a complete violation of the biological balance that affect into pandemics and disease, and effect into fires,
yes,
forest fires, and eradication of whole cities, like different cities on the map, and even changing of the map of the world.
Yes.
I mean, it's very dangerous, much more dangerous than the human mind could imagine. Right,
yes,
or no?
Yes, it's right, of course. And we should put in mind that we should be at that time putting on the table projects, that we should deal with green projects, because if we are not going to deal with projects, that means that we are not adjustable to sustainable development, which has been declared on 2015. And all the countries signed this agreement, and also most of the countries set their agenda, the sustainable development agenda, according to it till 2030. Egypt did that, and we put in mind how we are going to face the climate change. So we started a mega projects in green projects. We started to make many initiatives regarding how we are going to face this crisis, and we should make benefit of it. Because we are not contributed in this pollution. We are the countries that have been impacted by it. Unfortunately, because we are not industrial countries. The industrial countries, they are responsible of this carbonization, and in spite that they already committed at COP26 and starting from 1992 that they should decrease the pollution, the emissions to 1.5 degree, but till date they didn't do that. But maybe because of what's going on in European countries, and there is no natural gas, there will be a bad weather for them, a severe winter for them, and starting that many factors and plants are moving, looking for other places in order that they can work and their factories can be productive. Maybe this will be a chance for us that we can grow economically. This is a chance for us that we can start to build an investment here in Egypt and also to Africa, because we are the heart of Africa. So if that means that as Dr. Mohiuddin, the UN climate champion, stressed that we should deal with projects. We should take this opportunity. How? We already issued if you remember, the green bonds, $750 million green bonds for the investors to invest in green projects. This is one of it. Also, there are orders for the banks to facilitate for the investors to come and invest in Egypt. Also, the floating of the Egyptian pound will help the investors to come to invest in Egypt. So it's a good chance for us that we can bring them here to build their plans. We will learn from them a lot. We know the know-how of of any products from A to Z. This is part. We are going, our employees, our workers, the administratives, all will be trained due to this investment, because they will be learning from those people who are going to come to invest here. So this is a very, very, as we say, it's something good opportunity that we should put it in our minds and gain from it and acquire the investors to come and invest in Egypt. And also we can invest in other countries, but we should be as an agent for that. So it's very, very important issues that I think will be raised under the umbrella of the government in the green zone.
Right. We have taken, like I earlier said, progressive steps to be able to transform our economy into a green one.
Yes.
And through the infrastructure,
yes,
the very civilized environmental free infrastructure, through transforming our cities like Sharm el-Sheikh, like Port Said, like some governments, into a totally green cities. That is, applying the most sophisticated, environmentally friendly means. And also, we have taken also other progressive methods when it comes to this type of transformation. If you like to elaborate over this, and how far have we reached?
If we are going to talk about the actions that have been taken by the administrative in Egypt, there's a lot of things that have been taken since 2010. First of all, there was an initiation for climate change on Nile River and the North Coast, because you know this is very, very important. As you know that we are facing a very great problem, which is the water. And this has been also stressed in the Arab Summit, which has been taking place since 2 days at Algeria. So it's very important that we should support our rights from our assessment of our quota from the Nile River. Also, we should save our North Coast, because because of the global warming, it affects the sea and the raising in the level of the seas, and this means that the coastal can be vanished. So these actions has been taken since 2010. Also, we have the food security plan. The food security plan by starting to make animal husbandry and also livestock, and this had been not only in the places near the river, but also in the deserts, where the places, as we have seen early at April this year, when we harvest the wheat at Toshka. Also, we have seen different projects related to, in order to that we can secure the food for the people, because this is very, very important issue. As you know, this is something physiologically. The food is number one, then safety is number two. So these are one of the initiatives. As you mentioned also, the strategy, we already launched the strategy, the national strategy for climate change last May. And this was a collaboration among different ministers. And there was a plan for 2050 regarding different issues. As you said, the infrastructure. Also, one of the important things is the decent life, or we can call it a good life, generous life, Haya Karima, where now we are, it's not only to build houses for the people to live in it. No, they are making infrastructures, that streaming of internet with the fiber optics, the treatment of drainage water, in order that we can, the irrigation. Also, there is a technological way of irrigation. Also, that, as I mentioned, of course, the green economic. And also something very important that we have already, the solar as a renewable energy, also from the wind, Bamban. As you know, this is one of the most important renewable energy. Also, they are going to distract alcohol from beet, for example, as a plant. There are also researches done at the agriculture centers, researches where they are making now a plan or replan where we can plant different crops in any place whenever we are facing climate change. And there was an awareness system now to aware the farmers about the weather and how they can deal, and they can start to have to be ready if there's something, as you see now we have severe weather, sometimes we are rainy, sometimes it's storms and so on. So there's now a system for that we can know when we can plant or where we can plant or where we can change the areas. Also now we are going to have, there are initiations under the auspice of the President Al-Fatah Sisi that we use electric to fuel the cars, to use natural gas. Also, they are going to diffuse natural gas all over Egypt instead of using the bombs, as we all know about it. There's also very important things that is taking place in Egypt, mega projects. Also, there are projects at the micro and macro levels. And we also encouraging the breadwinners to make small projects, because this will help them as an income. This is under the civil society and the Minister of Solidarity. Also, this will help also in small, medium projects, and this also will help in the income of Egypt. Will be good or reward later on.
Right. The Finance Minister, Dr. Mohammed Maid, announced that the government is preparing already for a package of incentives for the what is known as the green industry.
Yes.
There was a whole campaign to educate and set awareness about the green industry and its value to our lives and everything. This, of course, target the exports and reduce imports. And also, we would like to know the state's effort in that particular initiative or that particular offer by the Ministry of Finance, giving all those very attractive incentives to people who are taking heed of the green industry and applying it by the book and its importance for their industry and for their income and for the national income as well.
If we refer back to last Saturday, there was the inauguration of the exhibition of the industrial works that is taking place in Egypt. As we saw on the TV, there was industry in hard equipments, software, and so on, and also in the field of food. So the state now is encouraging for the industry in order that we should be productive, not consumers, because this will help a lot to face what's going on. Even as I mentioned at the beginning, we are now, there is an empty space for the investors to come, to let them come and invest in our country. Also, the people who are working in the industry field here in Egypt, they should also be supported by the country and by the Ministry of Finance to help them that they can not to export, that for example the materials that we need in order to manufacture in Egypt can be facilitated more for them. As this is the plan of our states of also for sustainable development, that we should be more productive, and also this depends on agriculture, because both of them are combined to each other, completing each other. If we have agriculture, we plant, okay? If we refer back to plant cotton, to plant crops, this will help us to export instead of importing. So that means that we are going to save the foreign currency, and this will let our lives, support our lives, and later on we will feel that not only the human beings who are now, but the coming generations will feel that we are building for them according to the sustainable development.
Right. Of course, the new administrative capital, mentioning the new administrative capital and its importance as for the new republic and everything. Do you think that the new administrative capital is going to be the next model for environmental free and sustainable urban planning by solar energy and renewable energy and all that? Is it going to be the role model for the neighboring countries in the region and maybe for the whole world?
I think the new capital will be the second model after Sharm el-Sheikh because it is already reconstructed, it's already the construction, the plan for it, the layout and the design that it should be green area, more green areas, that the green area will take place. It will be all electric, will be using LED light. There will no pollution. There is now the electric train that will take the people from their homes or the workers from their homes to the area, to their working place there in the all the buildings, even the colleges, the faculties, the new cities, the compounds, the new area for the parliaments. Every building there is built according to smart. It will be smart buildings. Also, the monorail will be also part of this model because we are going to move from our places to the new capital using the monorail. That means that there will no pollution there. So this will be a green area. You are going to work in a place in a healthy way. I think all the construction has been built from the beginning. Not you are going to reconstruct it again from the beginning. It's designed for that.
The foundation is
the fundamentals, everything,
right.
Even the construction, the buildings, the concrete, everything is in a sustainable way, and it is adjustable to the climate change.
Right. Of course, we're awaiting COP27 and head over heels, you know, paving the way and already receiving the guests and delegates and everything. But we need now to set ahead or talk about the topics, the most pressing issues to be discussed for the COP27 that were left unanswered in COP26.
As I told you, that it is the execution. We are going here to execute everything. We should take decisions. There will be 2 zones. By the way, let's talk about it. That will be the green zone, and this will be under the control of the Egyptian government, where all the discussions related to economic, all the governments, there will be a summit at the level of the leaders of the world. They are going to discuss the issues, the projects. The Arabs are also planning to have an economic and a common economic project. And if we reach this will be a great one of the great recommendations that we will receive it at this at COP27, because we can, if we will be a unity. And when you are going to be unity, we are going to face the world. As you know, now we are in a trouble because of the actions that are taking place in Europe and America. And if we look at the political side, it's not near to us, but we should also focus on it. But if we do that, we will be so great. So we are going to face any problems. We are going to have our economic. When you are economically stable, that means you are going to be politically stable. So it's very, very important issues that will be taking place at the green zone, and the blue zone will be under those who already registered under the UNFCCC, which is the United Nations Framework on Convention on Climate Change. They are going, the civil society, they are going to talk about issues related to youth, issues related to women, education, the water, the problems of the water, They are going to discuss what's going on, how we are going to be sustainable for the coming years, how we are going to face, to adjust. As you know, there's also two important issues that will be on the table, that there's two axes: to decrease and to adapt. To decrease means that the countries that are responsible of the carbon should be committed to decrease to zero carbon. That means that we should refer to green projects. For example, the hydrogen. We should produce hydrogen. Egypt is now having a plant for producing hydrogen, which will take place at the Suez Canal Economic Zone, where they are going to fuel the vessels with hydrogen. That means this zone will be zero carbon. And they should be also responsible to protect their people from drought, from floods, from fires, from everything, because this is part of the human rights. The second axis, which is the adapt. We should adapt with this by what? By that we should start to issue projects, green projects, because it's a crisis. It's already, we have climate change. How we can do it? Are we going to die? No, we should resist and to live. So this is the adaptation. Also to aware the people how to live healthy, not to use plastics.
And to recycle.
To recycle, okay, and this is one of the most important.
Not to burn the
garbage. Not to burn the garbage, to start to make things of the waste. There are now...
And not to use toxic waste, and not to use, toxic substance.
Yes.
To poison animals in the street.
Yes.
Which is very also hazardous to
now
the biological balance.
There is many designers are making designs of the waste of the clothes. They can make designs of the cans, the cans of the that we drink from. It's the drinks that we all know. So they can make projects from this recycle.
But can I get in here, please? It's very important that I insert that note. Some governmental employees are still not very much aware of that. Like some government employees are applying, still using toxic elements or toxic substance to get rid of stray dogs, for example, in the street. And it is very hazardous. It is hazardous to the plants, it's hazardous to the humans who are living in the areas, it's hazardous to the whole environment, but they're still applying it officially.
They're still
using strychnine.
Still need awareness. We need awareness through the media, through the mass media, by making symposiums, by making public...
by enforcing laws.
Yeah.
Enforcing laws. To stand up to these violations.
I think this will be coming by laws.
By terminating those decisions by those governmental
I think this will be part of the discussions, that there will be laws, because as you see now, the country is booming step by step. Now there's
very obvious.
Yes.
But at the same time, many restaurants on the Nile, with the pipes, when the waste and the carbon and all that, and the leftover and everything, and then the construction companies using also substance and polluting the environment.
But there is places are making it's forbidden for people to smoke in it. For example, in the closed areas, in the clubs, but in the open areas they can.
But what about construction companies, the huge construction companies, who are
they are now going to be. Are
they going to be fined?
It should be. It should be, because they should be sustained with the adjustable with the climate change, because they are going. this is very, very important issue, that they should not throw their garbages in the, for example, in the drainage, not to burn. No, there will be rules for that coming.
What about using strychnine in the streets of Cairo and all over the governments of Egypt to poison the stray dogs and cats?
I think there will be restrictions and laws, and this will be in the combination of the Ministry of Environment and the Parliament, that they should take actions. The committee in the Parliament related to the environmental.
And what about cutting the streets, the trees on the?
They are replanting it now. They are replanting in the when they renewable areas, streets. They are planting it now. Due to my opinion, and to also I'm one of the witnessing, because the back street to my home was reconstructed, and they started to plant plants. Yes, to replant it again.
They used to cut it to make best use of the wood. It happens like that.
But
in New Zealand.
we need,
and in Australia, it's the
we
same
need
thing.
to have a censorship on us individually.
But then if you talk to them,
for an example, when I'm driving my car, or I'm in with my family in my car, and I found somebody is drinking coffee or drinking whatsoever in his hand, and then he threw it from his window, and he is in a luxury car. What can I say? We should also be caring about our country.
But if you find a governmental employee cutting the trees to make use of the wood, it's gross. I mean, it's.
Look, I don't want to talk about this as something that they are, because they are making that for constructing. If you come to the area of Nasr City, Masr Gedida, you will find that they reconstructed the places with bridges, and this is make it facility for the people.
I'm talking about exception.
Yes.
I mean,
it's not the majority. They used to make that because they are building here in these areas.
No, it's behind the scenes. Some employees, I was talking about some corrupted employees, but not all the employees.
Yes.
And of course, it's worth mentioning that the new municipalities are applying.
They will be questioned. If they are known, they will be questioned.
Yes.
They will be questioned.
And they are planting the whole area, green areas and everything, and planting new trees and environmentally free, and they're taking heed very much to not polluting the environment.
Yes.
And inserting those garbage huge bins on every corner of a street and everything.
I used to plant in my balcony. Any seeds in front of me while I'm eating anything, tomato, pepper, whatsoever, I put it in a soil, and then I found green on the balcony. We should all do that.
Amazing ideas.
Yes, we should do, even not to have a plant at the or to have a fruit or something, a vegetable at the end,
giving oxygen.
Yes, giving oxygen and taking the carbon dioxide and so on. Also for my eye to see something good. It make me feel nice at the early morning when I see something green with the blue sky. Give me an energy for. A positive energy when I'm going to go to my work and so on.
But then the COP26 summit, the earlier COP26,
yes.
Former COP26 summit, Egypt has warned that Africa is the most vulnerable continent to the impacts of climate change. Why was that statement given? And also, until when will Africa carry the burden of other countries? I mean, it's not Africa who is going to be vulnerable or going to be prone to the pollution. It's the developed countries who take their industrial waste to developing countries. It's the, power countries who are throwing the waste in the Pacific Ocean.
Yes.
And having all their industries done in India and done in Thailand and done in all the developing Asian countries.
Yes.
Correct or wrong?
Yes, this is a good point that you mentioned, that there is a commitment at Glasgow that the developed countries should keep their promise to compensate the countries that have been impacted by the pollution, by the emissions, with the $100 billion. So at this
And the
COP,
economic crisis?
yes, at the COP, I hope, because to my knowledge, that at COP27 they will ask them for this promise. What you are going to do, you promise. And I think that they are now in a bad need because they will have a severe winter. There will be no natural gas. And also this is very important for us because we can make the touristic industry in Egypt, because we can now make offers for those people who are living in Europe that they can come and spend their winter at Egypt. And I think this is one of the plans of the Ministry of Tourism, that they are going to give offers at Luqsor, Aswan, Sharm el-Sheikh, Hurghada, all these lovely places with warm weather, to come. And those for the retired people, they can come and stay
Much
for
more
3
cheaper
months.
than Europe,
Yes, it's much cheaper with their currency.
Of course.
It's,
but at the same time, what about countries who are using the nuclear weapons?
this is a great problem.
Will there
and
be
this
any
is,
sanctions imposed?
I hope that they don't use it. I hope, and we are going
they
all
possess
to
nuclear.
pray for
I mean,
to pray
the
for
nuclear
them.
substance in its own right. I mean, there are countries who have nuclear substance, and they are
Yes, we
still
are-
possessing nuclear weapons. Sometimes they use it, and
The
it has
nuclear
been used
should-
in the occupied West Bank before.
The nuclear was for, it's not for war. It should be used for peace.
Of course.
But unfortunately, they are threatening by using it. And this, all of us were afraid of that due to the actions that taking place between Russia and Ukraine. And also when Iran is also establishing its plant, the nuclear plant, also we are worried about that. But to my knowledge, and asking God that they never use that. And this is also is used for threatening, because if they are going to use it, they are going to vanish all the world, not the people like Hiroshima and Nagasaki that only take place
Which
at
affected
Japan.
a lot of damage.
Yes.
For generations and generations.
So it will damage all the world. The world will be vanished.
Of course.
So I think that this is for only used for threatening, not to be used actually.
Hopefully, inshallah, on this
Hopefully,
note.
inshallah.
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 On this note, Dr. Jilan Abdul, you are the dean of one of the of MASCOM, faculty of MASCOM, one of the prominent university, and a professor yourself of MASCOM. I'd like to thank you so much for coming over before COP27 to talk to us on Windows and Current Affairs, and wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you, Dina, and thank you for your audience, and hope we give them information about COP27 and what will take place in it, inshallah. And hope, inshallah, that we succeed and we reach decisions and solutions, inshallah.
Inshallah. And I guess by this we come to the end of this edition of Windows and Current Affairs. Many thanks to all of you. Until we see you again next week, that's a goodbye.